welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla, and in today's video we are opening up about my cancer story. It's so crazy because I rehearsed this like 500 times and now I feel like I'm acting like a crazy person. I don't know what to talk about. Anyways, if you click on this video, it's because obviously from the title you want to hear about my cancer story and how I found out that I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. I can basically start off by kind of just like explaining what Hodgkin's lymphoma is. It is basically a cancer to my lymph nodes. If you're not familiar with your lymph nodes are used to help fight off infections. You have hundreds of them inside your body. I have lymph nodes that are inflamed and enlarged because of cancer. It kind of falls in like the same vein of like leukemia, where that's also like a cancer to your blood. Like all of it kind of works related. So your lymph nodes, I believe, are to help produce red blood cells so that you can promote like healthy cells and fight off infections. The main reason I wanted to make a video is because when I first found out, the only thing I could find on YouTube was like these scientifical like researches, and not too many people were like actually telling their side of the story and how they felt during that time. Like I just wanted to find somebody who like went through it, who could explain how they felt when they found out, explain how they felt during the chemo treatment, explain how they felt when it was over. Like I just was looking for like some help or some inspiration and I wasn't able to find that. Most of it was just mainly, like I said, the scientists kind of like explaining what it was, and it just wasn't as beneficial to me because I was experiencing things emotionally. Like I was crying and I was scared and I was vulnerable, and I was looking for someone who could like basically kind of help me through that. I did find this one girl, I believe it either is Cam or Kim, but I think it is Cam, had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she posted her cancer story, and I've been looking at her videos and they have helped, and I thought that maybe I'll do the same. The second reason I decided to make this is just so that I can experience or like have something documented on how I felt like during the process, after the process, before the process, like everything. First thing, before I jump into like how I found out and all those good things, because I'm sure you guys want to know, I just want to say thank you for clicking this video. Thank you for listening to my story, and yeah, if you like, comment, and subscribe, that will be amazing. On to the next part. So this part is kind of going to be long, but I'm going to try to minimize it in a way that is not super complicated. The most common way that people learn about like having lymphoma is a lymph node in their neck. Really, like when I went to the doctor in April, I just went for a normal like physical checkup. Like we did all the tests, we did all of this, and everything came back like super healthy. So I didn't think anything of it. I thought that I just was like experiencing like some weird like congestion, and like maybe after some medicines, a few weeks, it'll go down, it'll go away. But after a few weeks, it never went down, it never went away. It didn't get like too much bigger, but it was just there. But again, I had like mucus in my chest, and it just made sense that the lymph node was there. Fast forward, it's probably like June, July now. I did have a cough. Again, more mucus in my throat, to the point where like if I was talking a lot, like kind of if I was explaining this video, my words started to slur. I did multiple COVID tests, I did strep throat tests, I went to urgent care, I was on 3 rounds of antibiotics. Like I did a lot to try to figure out what was going on. I went to virtual doctors. They told me to try Mucinex, Sudafed. Like I went through a lot. Like it was a long time coming. And probably around September 1st, that's when the last like round of antibiotics was done, and it still didn't clear up. So at this point, the doctor was like, okay, you know, maybe it's not a bacteria infection, because that's where they were leaning towards, because of the amount of mucus that was in my throat and because of me having this lymph node, that it was just like some nasty bacteria infection that just didn't want to go away. I decided to do a CT scan on my throat because that's where the lymph node was. And during that CT scan, they found abnormalities in my chest. That's all he told me. He didn't, but because I went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, he wasn't able to examine my chest. So he sent me back to my primary care doctor. That's when things started to kind of really, like, you know, kick it into action. And like I said, this time we're in September, so April, September. They recommended me to go to an imaging center. I got 2 MRIs done and 1 CT scan, all on like my chest area, my neck area, my head. Like, so from all of this part, they did those exams. And yeah, they were really quick about getting results back, like same day. They posted in my chart, and I'm seeing all these words that were like surprising, but like I never knew to look up. So it was like thoracic disease, lymphoma, and that was like the first time that the word lymphoma was like brought to my attention. So I was googling it and that's when I learned that lymphoma was a cancer. It was possible that I had cancer. My doctor was sick. His nurse called me and she basically was like, yeah, we're going to send you to a cancer specialist. And yeah, so things just started to get more real. And at this point, like, I'm super emotional. This is like halfway through September. I'm like crying every other day, sometimes multiple times a day. And yeah, it's like getting like real quick. So I go to these cancer doctors, and yeah, they're like, you know, they didn't really think it was a thoracic disease. They said that everything from what they saw kind of looked like lymphoma. And what was crazy is that they finally were able to show me what this abnormality was in my chest, and it was like a mass. It was a huge mass, probably like this big in my chest. And I'm just like, okay, so what do we do? He's like, we're gonna do a PET scan and we're gonna get a biopsy. The PET scan is basically used to kind of identify where your cells are cancerous, like where it's affected in your body. And the biopsy is so that they can remove tissue to test the tissue and find out if it is cancerous and what type of cancer it is. So I get both of those done, and the biopsy was undiagnosable, I think that's the word. I don't know, one of those words. Basically, they weren't able to get enough tissues for them to run an accurate test. But however, because of my PET scan and the multiple locations of the reactiveness, they knew that it was cancer. So first thing they had to do after that was another surgery. A possible 3 surgeries. I was going to do a lymph node biopsy, that would be one. A possible robotic thoracic surgery, which means that they were going to go here and do small incisions to get the tissue out of the mass that was in my chest. And if they weren't able to do that, then he would have to do like the old school surgery with like a needle and cut me open a lot and go in. That, and then also a port placement. So at the end of the day, I only had the one surgery, which was the lymph node biopsy. So I was cut up here so they can go inside and get tissue out, and then they placed the port. And that is when they were finally able to diagnose me. Right afterwards, I experienced like really weird symptoms. 3 days after the surgery, I was unable to walk, I was unable to sit up, I was unable to do anything, and it was kind of scary. Later, my cancer doctor said that it was probably a symptom of my cancer, and a rare symptom to my already rare cancer, where my nervous system is producing antibodies to my muscles and causing them to feel weak. because I can move them. I didn't feel paralyzed, but because of those antibiotics, they were kind of like fighting the muscle and they weren't moving. But yeah, after 7 months, I finally found out on November 5th that I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. Let's move on to the next part, and then if you have any extra questions, you can reach out to me. Like I said, it was a long process of 7 months that I had to just cram in like 10 minutes. So the next part is going to be like the type of cancer, which we kind of already talked about, in the stage of cancer, but just like a more like detailed version. My cancer is stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. There are 2 types of lymphoma. It is non-Hodgkin's and Hodgkin's. Hodgkin's is described to me as a curable cancer. It is more aggressive, which means it spreads quicker than the non-Hodgkin's, but it is curable. And my doctor said that like the likelihood of it coming back after chemo is very limited, so I should be fine. I should be cancer free and not have to really worry about remission, and I can go on to having a normal life. Stage 2. So the way he described it is like if there was only one like lymph node that was affected, then that would be stage 1. But because I have multiple, I have a mass, I had this lymph node in my collarbone, and then of course the one in my neck that started the whole thing, all in the same area, above the diaphragm, because like I said, lymph nodes are all through your body, but above the diaphragm, all in the same area. That is considered stage 2. So if it was like in multiple parts of my body, then I think it would be stage 3. And then if it was like in my bones, because again it is a blood cancer, if it was like in my bone, the bone marrows were affected, then I would be stage 4. But yeah, so technically I am stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then there's also favorable and unfavorable. I know this, like he was like, don't be alarmed. He said that favorable just means that the treatment would be shorter. So if it was favorable, then it was 4 months. Mine is considered unfavorable just from the size of the mass in my chest. So I have to go through a longer chemo treatment, which is 6 months. The type of cancer in the stage of cancer that I have. We'll move into like chemo now, because I think that it's just a good leeway when I talk about like being unfavorable and favorable. I'm going on a total of 6 cycles. There is 2 treatments per cycle. It's going to last for 6 months. So I'm expected to be cancer free by May of 2022. I started the first chemo treatment yesterday on the 15th of November, and the ABBD, which is basically just like the type of medicine that I'm going to go through. I have a port placement here. I'm not going to touch it because I was touching my dog, but right here, and this is where the chemo is infused into my body. I am going to definitely do 4 of the chemos, and then I will have a PET scan to see how my body is reacting. If I'm getting better, then they're going to remove one of the drugs. But yeah, right now that's my treatment and the duration. So 6 months, 12 total treatments. We got 11 more to go, and yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the chemo treatment. How I'm feeling? Surprisingly, I feel like I'm in a very good mood. It's been almost 3 months of me kind of like having an idea and kind of like grasping onto the fact that I have cancer, but it's like I'm no longer in denial. I'm in acceptance, and I'm on the journey to feeling better and being better. So when I say that I feel great, I say that as in like mentally I'm prepared for whatever is to come, and I'm ready to like fight it and be okay. The thing that I learned just really recently, and I don't know if it's from the pandemic or just from social media in general, but like we became such a species of anti-socialness, even though like we're like social beings. But like I'm not used to being around people. I'm not used to like talking to people. I'm not used to expressing my emotions and feelings to people for help. I don't like asking for anything. Like, I felt like I can do it on my own. I learned that there's a lot of people who are very supportive and a lot of people who love you, and getting through this and fighting through this and letting them know that I feel great because of y'all, and I'm here mentally and feel positive because of y'all. So when we get through this battle, I didn't do it alone. And I think that's that's where I'm at feeling like now. And I don't know, it feels really good. How big of a day yesterday was. Like, yo, this was my first day of chemo. Hey, but like, I felt so special. I felt so comfortable. I felt relieved. I didn't, you know, everybody should have experienced just that mood that I was in, because it was amazing. And yeah. A big thing right now for me is just fatigue. So today I've been trying to fight it and like not take a nap, because I've been taking a lot of naps and feeling like really tired. And then my appetite, I'm not hungry. I'm trying to force myself to eat, or at least eat what I can. I know like nausea is something that's very concerning, and things like that, but I have medicine. They gave me medicine, so I don't really feel like, or I haven't felt that. Then I guess we can like move into the final and last part of this video, and just basically kind of explaining what I plan to post. So when it came down to it, I thought about a couple different things. With chemo, you guys know, like, a very common thing, a very realistic thing that will happen during chemo is your hair falling out. They told me that most likely would happen in the second cycle, so I'll probably have my hair for the rest of the month, and maybe sometime in December it will start to fall out. I've been natural technically since 2016, so that's 5 years, and I did a big chop in 2016. I did a big chop in 2019, and here it is 2021. I am 2 years later from my big chop, and like, to me it was a very big thing. Like, before I had cancer, before I knew cancer, chemo was coming, like, it was very big. I was very excited because I felt like my hair has grown so much. I was so excited to post that like natural hair journey. It is a journey and not like a destination, and it just shows you that you have a lot of drawbacks. So yeah, I'm going to be experiencing my third big chop in my 5-year natural hair journey soon. Alright, another thing that I want to post, and this is just more so for me and probably like people who are experiencing it, is like what I eat in a day. A lot of things that I can't eat anymore, which I guess I'll kind of explain more in the video, but like learning how to eliminate those foods but still like getting healthy and still like enjoying food, because I do really enjoy food. Chemo, what do you eat to make you not feel nauseous? What do you eat to help with constipation? What do you eat to, you know, feel strong and fight fatigue? Like, those things. And what don't you eat? Like, that was something that I was just curious about. So I will post some of those videos that I plan to post. A day in my life. So I want to like post my cancer treatment like videos. So I recorded yesterday of like how I was feeling, and then also just like days when I'm not feeling that great, because I don't want it to just seem like this is like the most magical journey. Like, it was so easy. Like, your girl just went through with flying colors. Like, I feel good now, but I don't think, like, it'll be naive of me to just think that every day will be a great day. So my goal is to try to post even when I'm feeling bad, just to be as realistic as possible. And then cancer treatment outfits or like things like that. Just thought that it may be cool, like, to learn how to, like, you know, how do I wear my hair when I go out, or like hats. Well, not my hair because I won't have any hair, but like if I bought wigs or hats, and how to style outfits to look cool and not like look super sickly. See you. They're gonna see you. People are gonna know just by looking at you, and my goal is to still be cool, you know, like still have outfits that make me feel good about what I'm going through, and not all just like turbans and like sweatpants. Like I don't want to do that. Like I don't know, I want to still be able to dress up and wear cute clothes and kind of make it cute as much as I can. So that's what I have planned for you guys. That is the end of this video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I really just hope if you're going through this and you're watching this video for some inspiration, I hope that I can be a little bit of a light in your dark days. I do my best to be as open and vulnerable and, you know, as realistic as I can be on the internet. Again, also for everyone who's reached out to me, everyone who sent their prayers and love and kindness and all of that, like, you guys are amazing, and I can't do anything but like appreciate all of it. And I'm so grateful because, again, I feel amazing and it's because of y'all. And yeah, so this is the end of the video. I don't have any like cute catchy closing phrases or anything. Billy's been here this video, so she's been hanging out with me, but yeah, I just want to say thank you, and also, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, it'll be okay. We'll get through this together. Bye.